Hi, I'm Brian. I make songs and I want to make something else. That's my plan. It's up on GoFundMe. Um, I'm a little different, I really am. But there's a story behind all this, but I know everybody's really busy, so quick little run through. I had a back injury, I got sick of TV, and I stopped doing the normal things that were kind of like routinely sucked into. I started doing a lot of documentaries, tons of them, hundreds of them, thousands of them, over and over again. Because it's like you do one, and then something doesn't seem right. I like using the trillium method of thinking who, what, where, and why. And it's a pain in the ass because it takes work. It really does. And the whole thing with me is why would I want to bring a child into this world the way it is, the way that it's going? Not to put anybody down, but this is my thing. And then the feeling of being lied to, when I was a child, on things that are that are not supposed to be that way. Like we shouldn't have to pay for food. We shouldn't. It's free. It grows everywhere. And that's what I want to do. I want to make a free food forest. And the reason behind all that is the fact that that's a stress that should not be there for a mother and father. You should not have to worry about what you're going to do to feed your child. The only thing you should have to say is go to the park and get something to eat. Apples grow everywhere. They're, you know, 130 to 145 pounds for a dwarf apple tree. I have to find the numbers, but just to get you, kind of an idea of what I'm trying to do is I'm giving out my songs for free, absolutely free. You can check them out, you can hear them, you can download them. I make Green Bay Packers songs. I make songs about herb. I make songs about Mother Nature. Lots of songs about Mother Nature. Um, and that's what I want to kind of do. I want you to kind of get a glimpse into what I think for what I seen. I mean, this is huge. I mean, we all know that babies live in water, and our tap water is messed up. It's freaking poison, and our babies grow in that, and no one, I don't know, and you have to forgive yourself. That's why it's so freaking hard to explain this, because it's like I say one thing, and then it's it's programming. It's when someone says something, you have to stab them back because we watch that in sitcoms so much. Watch a sitcom. It's it just you can see it. But I tried doing something nice before, and you know how they say, but I don't like sticking myself into little cliches like that. But everybody keeps asking me. But yeah, I am the guy that gave out 5 grand when I got my. I had 2 back surgeries from work, and when I got my settlement, I was gonna buy a truck, and I was thinking to myself, "Oh, my back's just gonna get sore if I'm, and I don't have no kids, and you know, I can walk everywhere to strengthen up my back and keep it in shape and stuff." So I took out 5 grand from the bank. I was gonna go buy a truck, and I decided not to. I was gonna donate to church, and my bank is on the way past the Green Bay terminal, and I'm thinking, well, I've been poor for a long time. I know how it is, and poor people, maybe not, but take the bus. So I figured that'd be a great place to do it. And I've done it before. I done it not with no 5 grand. I did it with $100 worth of singles, and it was based on energy, and I wanted to see on on what it does, and it's amazing on what it does. In the sense of what I know what I want to do to change that, because it is. They did studies, but that's a whole other thing. But I had a blast doing it, and I would have I'd still do it again. I would. Um, People were so happy that day. It was awesome. It was a great feeling. Now I want to do it differently. I want to do that with a free food force. Just be like, walk right in, take whatever you want to eat, and then I don't know. I can kind of give you a look around. But this is a smallest room I could find. This is, I don't know, I didn't measure it. I want to say maybe 15 by 12, 15 by 15, maybe, I don't know. But just like a small little area for someone to sleep, get their rest, and then go chill out in the garden, man. You got a free garden, you know. And and the things I want to do with that, that's why it's so hard to explain, because everybody's just like, oh, gardens. No, I want to make it Wi-Fi free, not free Wi-Fi. Like, oh, hey, my gadget works. No, no Wi-Fi, completely blocked out. Scalar waves. That's Nikola Tesla's work. 60 hertz free, so no electricity from 60 hertz. There's a lot of data on that, so it takes some time. And distilled water, access to distilled water. I know I'm a lot, but I just put it this much: if you like one of my songs and you tip me, you're gonna see me do more things, because I don't want fancy car, fancy clothes. I don't want any of that. I want something that lives on. Free food forests, and if you can just grasp that, it it, it branches off from there. I got so many ideas on it. Like, you know, you could do schools. Schools could have a class trip, and they could go out to their own little area, plant, enough trees to support their whole little family at like age 7. Have it all set up there, the little living quarters there. Boom, they're done. They'd have fun doing it. It only takes what, the last video I seen, I think it was like 20 minutes to dig the hole. You got to put your mushroom spores in there, and then your apple tree and stuff. I think kids would get a kick out of doing that. And then you figure, well, they're not going to be able to use their living dwelling. Ah, there you go. Just think if all schools did that. I think it's 135 million. I have to look at the numbers, but just take that number and just think of all those places. If they would build that and they have their little living dwellings, that's how many there would be. Boom, homeless. Sorry guys, I hate labels too. You're not homeless. Mother Earth is your home, but there wouldn't be anybody without a place to lay down. I don't know, just an idea. I know I'm rambling, but I hope we're 7 minutes into this, so I hope you're not bored, because I'm not redoing this one again. I've been trying all day, man, and it's been either my computer's been crashing or whatever. And this is some serious information. It really is. And I just want to show you the love that I want to put into this place. There is one in, I always forget, Seattle, Beacon Food Forest. This is my GoFundMe for my arm that was broken. Um, yeah, I could really use a hand. If anybody's clapping, that's funny. And there's my dollar one. Yeah, it's freaking awesome. It would so be cool to do. Like, I live in Green Bay, so Whitney Park would be my first one. If you go look at it, you can just see, oh yeah, you put a fruit tree there, there, there. And then there's my tip for, I don't know, I might change it maybe. I don't know. I like Packer or Song Guy, but I don't know yet. I'm here and there on that one. And then there is the SoundCloud. And there's my name. Alright. So I would get some coffee. I don't know how I want to do this. I don't want to make you sick. And I know that's going to sound weird, but I might as well take my time and do this right. I don't want to make you sick. Gut bacteria folds itself when you get agitated. And then with everything else going on, even you watching this is doing all types of stuff. If you'd like to see that, grab yourself an AM radio. You're not going to get scared. So you can rewind this, and then you can hear me say that again. You're not going to get scared. You're going to get stronger. Placebo effect is real. So, and you can change that. You don't like the word placebo, change it to faith. Same thing, just different tone, different word. All right, so I don't want you to get sick. So, just make sure you stay out of 3 states: flight, fright, and stare. I think I'm going to start out with meditation. And this is a real simple, I'm going to explain it, and I'm going to play the thing for a little bit, but this is the easiest way to explain it. Get in the most comfortable position, and I want to explain it in my words, but some people don't like the cursing or whatever. So just don't lie to yourself when you're laying there. Get comfortable. So what I mean by don't lie to yourself, like when something hurts, take care of it. Don't try to block it out. Take care of it. So what I'm saying is, if you're if you're the way I do it is I lay on my back and I cross my hands, like you're laying in a coffin. Ooh, I know tone. Isn't that something? I don't know if anybody got chills from that at all, but that's just tone. But it's an easiest way to illustrate it in your head so you can see how. Because I ain't gonna lay down and do it. But don't cross your legs. Don't do that. I know people don't like being told what to do, but I just do it because I care. That, and I know that shit hurts. See, I just cussed again. I'm sorry. I watched a lot of George Carlin. 7 dirty words you can't say on the internet. Oh, I think you could say all of them on the internet now. Well, anyways, I don't know. We can look down there. Wait, wrong way. Well, anyways, there's a vein that runs through here, and when you cross it, yeah, it's not good. But it feels comfortable because it corrects the pelvis up above. See, it's like tick for tack. So if you want, you can do a shotgun pelvis. Okay, now we're 11 minutes. See, I'm just going. I could talk for. See, if I am in the afterlife, oh yeah, we're gonna have lots to talk about. But anyways, put both your knees together, put your fists in between them, give you a little idea, and squeeze really hard. It's not really a good demonstration. I couldn't even figure that out. If I seen that, I'd be like, "What are you trying to do?" Okay, or you can just look up shotgun pelvis. Okay, both knees right there. I learned this because of my back surgery. Both knees there. Put your fists in there and squeeze. I don't know if I'll get one or not. Anyways, you do it. You do one fist. If it doesn't work, do both of them. Like I can't because this hand's being used. But you put them together so it's fatter, I guess, and then squeeze, and you'll feel click. And yes, now before you do it, I hope you're not doing it yet. Before you do it, just so you know it's gonna hurt for a little bit because it realigns it, but it will go away. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Blood flow is gonna go back in there, and it'll feel much better. Okay, 12 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm a blabber. All right, let's go watch our film. We're gonna learn. Not gonna learn. You're just gonna see. I don't know if you're gonna learn. I can't make anybody learn. We're just gonna see on why I want to do what I want to do with my tip money. Like I ain't asking you, give me some money so I can do this. No, I'm just here's a beat, here's a song. You like it, you tip me. Well, I ain't buying anything fancy with it. I'm gonna go get me some trees. Because it's not just trees and food. It's more air, more water, and more life. Because, and you'll hear it in my songs. Sorry if I make anybody cry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I said that. I'm not sorry. I'm just because I did it because I did it out of love. So why should I be sorry for something I did out of love? You feel me? All right. It's enough blabbering. All right. Sorry if anybody's motion sickness. All right. All water set up. We're gonna do water first, just because it's a DVD, and we're not having this distraction. Okay. Do I have you the right way? Are you upside down? Okay, you are the right way. You are the right way. It's just the screen is not in the right way. There we go. All right. United States does not keep accurate records of their water illnesses. Okay, I'll get you. I'll get you in there. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna get the speaker up in the ear hole here. All right, 14 minutes. Hey, that ain't too bad for an intro. For 14 minutes. All right, here we go.
The United States does not keep active records of how many people get sick from our water supply every year.
Okay, we'll stop it right there. Okay. I don't want to sound like any words that would fit before what I say, like whatever colorful word you want to call me. But your babies live in water. We should do something about it. They grow in water, they drink it, they bathe in it. They bathe in it! And hear what the man has to say. They bathe in it! And the only reason why I'm like that is because all I hear is Child Protection Agency and the other side of my brain going, "What are you here for? What are you doing? They're feeding poison and growing babies in poison water. Isn't that supposed to be your job?" I'm sorry. It's just uh, I'm actually a normal person. I'm just trying to be silly.
There are estimates that from 500,000 to 7 million people get sick per year from drinking their tap water.
One of the problems is that we have lots of bugs in the system, viruses, pathogens, bacteria. A lot of those things that you think of as stomach viruses or flus, about 40% of those come from your drinking water.
We are not removing things like industrial chemicals, rocket fuel, pesticides, certain pharmaceuticals, drugs that were discharged either by big animal factories or by sewage treatment plants. A lot of people think they don't have to worry about their water supply because they go out and buy bottled water. Well, we have news for them. In fact, a lot of your exposure to many of the chemicals comes from the simple act of showering in them. So some of these more volatile pollutants come in through your skin.
Alright, I'm sorry I gotta pause it again, but you just heard what the guy said. More volatile pollutants come through your skin, and we bathe in this daily. Our children bathe in this daily. Our babies are grown in this for 9 months more or less. So you figure if someone would give poison to a child, you figure there'd be immediate action. And yeah, I'm a little upset about it because I figured the last one I made, or whatever one I made on this, you figure we would get a response. And it didn't. And to me, I thought that was just amazing. And it's not like I'm putting you down at all. I'm just blown away. It just shows that there is something severely blocking the connection between mother, father, and their child. You figure if someone would poison your child, you figure you would get up and you'd be like, can you not do that, please? Pretty please? Okay, that's not me being me, being who I am, because you figure if no one says anything, it's just gonna go even more. And the reason why I just said and made those statements the way I did with that tone, it's just the simple fact is now to see if your heart rate is up, see if you're angry at all or upset with me or just disgusted on how I presented it, because that's what the last lady was. She was disgusted on how I presented the fact that someone was poisoning her child. Isn't it outrageous? You figure someone points out the fact that someone's going to kill you and then be like, how dare you point that out to me? Now everything there and everything that you're feeling, especially if you're doing wheat, yes, wheat. We know our research with wheat. That's how they made LSD. And this is wheat belly.
The big hospital wards, well, back in those days, the psychiatric hospitals had closed large wards, so their patients could not come and go as they pleased, and everything was controlled. Their medications were controlled, their diet was controlled. Well, several psychiatric groups back then made this observation. If they took all the wheat out of the diet of their schizophrenic patients, they got a bunch better. They weren't cured, but their paranoia, their hallucinations improved dramatically. They'd add back the wheat, they'd get much worse. There's over 4-week periods. They would take the wheat away, they got better. Add it back, they get on again, off again, on again, off again. This was reproduced a number of times. So the people at the National Institutes of Health asked, why? What the heck is in bread, or pretzels or cookies, that causes schizophrenics to hallucinate? So this group, led by Dr. Christine Zedrew, boiled it down to the gliadin protein, that protein we're talking about. And this thing, upon digestion, enters your brain. and it acts as an opiate. It binds to the opiate receptors of the human brain. So the human brain is filled with so-called opiate receptors. That may not be the nature's intended effect, but that's how it plays out in real life. So if I take morphine, it provides pain, relief from pain. If I take heroin, it makes me high, it makes me goofy, and I can't control my thoughts or my behavior. If I take wheat, or the gliadin protein, the breakdown opiates of wheat, I don't get high, I don't have pain relief, I only get appetite stimulation. Okay, so
Okay, we're gonna stop right there. So you get appetite stimulation. So if you would check and look into this guy even more, William Davis, Williamdavis. If you look into him, check it out. It's in Twizzlers. Has stuff to do with ADHD too. Those are just words, though. Don't lock me into words. Don't do that, because the only reason why I say them is because you know what they are. Those are just words. Those are made up words, is what they are. All right. So you have that. You got the fact that it's going to increase your appetite or give you goofy thoughts, plus a whole bunch of other things. So yeah, we see that. We understand that. Well, here's your TV for you.
The flicker rate on the television is very, very important. It was timed to be so many cycles per second, and it actually just meets with the brain patterns for an alpha state. When our brain sees it through our eyes, we start to adopt that flicker rate in our mind and go into a deep alpha state. Watch children and watch their mouths. They drop open. They won't hear their parents talking. They're hypnotized, in fact. Why would they give that particular flicker rate when they could have chosen of a whole variety of flicker rates? It wasn't an essential thing to have. So it was done for a purpose. It was meant to be hypnotic. It was meant to be used as a tool of propaganda and indoctrination, even through the guise of entertainment and so on. It also was to create a new society, because they were the avant-garde, as I say, leading the sexual revolution through drama, through little documentaries, fiction, non-fiction, all combined. Once again, back to Plato, the audience see what they see. You understand that it's even worked out towards different age groups. There's something on for everybody's age group. Each age group is actually being updated as well, even the elderly ones, into new ways of thinking or seeing things. But the target mainly was for youngsters. If we take one of the world's experts on propaganda, who was Jacques Ellul, who wrote extensively on how the mind works and how all entertainment, he said, that has to do with government programs such as police, detective stories, detective series, which contain little human dramas as the hook that you identify with, to make you watch the whole story. Child gets kidnapped, detective goes on a hunt, he goes through hell and fire to get that child back. You identify with the hero if you're a male, you identify with the heroine if you're female. And that's the hook to get you to watch them. But what he said was, all dramas to do with police, or even the military in movies, are pure propaganda. Pure.
Well, just to get the flicker rate part in there, and the fact that you got a genetically modified wheat and so many other things was sitting in your gut, and then your TV and your drama, which that changes gut bacteria, especially when you have a fake movie with real emotions. That's why it's called movies. Move the. Okay, carrying on. Now we got the fact that you got a full belly full of food. You got a flicker rate on the TV that's putting you into a weird state. Where else do we want to go with that? So we'll go with okay, you got your movie going, you're in an electric environment.
Police side house.
And think of a child in a room with this many volts going through it. And we're going to look at Herta Clark on what she does with a 9-volt battery.
Tonight, most of us. Now, what most people have in their bedroom is they have a power point right here next to their head on either side of the bed, and there's also an electrical lead running right behind in the wall, right behind here. I'm going to show you in another experiment, another video using a Gauss meter, how this electrical field actually radiates out right to where our head is while we're sleeping. So I think it's particularly important for myself to be earthed while I'm sleeping in an electrical field such as this. So again,
You have to look up dirty electricity though, because the ground that we have in our homes is unclean because they didn't bother to bring it back to the power company. They drain it right into the ground.
Is this. So again, I've got my multimeter. I've got it earthed through a power point, and I'm going to see what my voltage is just standing on the floor in the bedroom. It's a massive 15 volts. This is the highest reading that I've had outside, inside, anywhere. I'm at 15 volts standing on the bed.
And he does other ones too.
You know, if you do this experiment at home, you might find it's completely different, the EMF fields in your, or the electricity in your body. Now, I'm going to touch this with my little finger, this earthed pad, and see what happens. It drops me down to 0.1.
Okay, so you can get that meter right there. Good picture of it. Make sure it's that exact same one with the same settings and stuff. And you can go test. You can go see it for yourself that there's volts running through your child right now. I'm sorry, I'm stressing that so much because that's because what I know. Now, what I know is Dr. Herta Clark, and I believe I have that one set up. I'm hoping I do. And I don't. I have her other one set up though. But it still explains on what she was doing. Herta Clark, it's right there, www.hertaclark.com. Do her liver flush, follow her protocol.
Attacking illness was born. Find the resonant frequency of a bacterium, virus, or parasite using a slide or dead bit. Treat the living invaders inside the human body with this frequency, and in a matter of minutes they are no longer transmitting their own bandwidths. They are dead or sick, and will be removed by our white blood cells. It was a worrisome truth. Perhaps the Department of Defense would use this knowledge and develop super high voltage devices to kill people, enemies, somewhere in the world. But I couldn't let sick people suffer. Besides, it would probably require a voltage much like lightning to kill people from a distance. Possibly a way could be found to shield yourself from frequencies harmful to humans by wearing a choke inductor coil.
There you go, you got that information there. HARP, High Research Facility, or whatever it's called, they operate on a 1 billion watt antenna. Alright. So we have that. We have gut full of food. We have an ability with a lady that's been studying this and been killing off bacteria with electricity with a 9-volt battery. We have devices known as HARP. Another one would be active denial system. The smaller version of that is silent guard. We have our cell phones as well that all work on frequencies that can do the exact same thing. Kill off the good bacteria, vice versa, and make you even sicker than what you are. Now, everybody's all like, well, why doesn't it affect everybody? Well, that goes back to rest. People who get more sleep are going to be more healthier. Well, I should say the quality of their sleep, what type of frequency they're sleeping at. Just to give you an idea how to meditate correctly.
When body relaxes, consciousness travels to the next zone, mind and intellect. Mind is nothing but a bundle of thoughts. There are numerous thoughts always coming to the surface of the mind. Whenever there are thoughts in the mind, we may get many questions, known or unknown. To transcend the mind and intellect, one has to observe the breath. Observation is the nature of the self. So, one should just witness the breath. Don't do conscious breathing. Don't inhale or exhale consciously. Let inhalation or exhalation happen on its own. Just observe the normal breathing. This is the main key. This is the way.
That is called, I bet you feel better, don't you? If you did it, you feel better. It's called spiritual reality. And if you feel like you're floating, make sure you post it down below. And then don't try to teach it to anybody. Or you could try it once and then, I don't know, see how it goes. All right, carrying on. So we know how to collect our energy by meditation. We've seen Herta Clark killing off pathogens. We've seen that genetically modified food, especially wheat, makes you eat more. We see that there's some really bad stuff in our water. Next up is our cell phones. And this is another thing, if you had the device itself, we could check it.
There is...
Oh, before I even start, this guy's name is right there. Google his name in. He does work for free. I believe that this would be a violation of the Nuremberg Code.
That you become more lazy. The other addiction is that there are numerous experiments. I have pages upon pages of experiments where the microwaves going into the brain, they accelerate and, if you like, increase the natural rhythms of the brain. It's called entrainment. They actually accelerate the brain and excite the brain. And we know that a child that uses a cell phone for just 2 minutes, the brain is accelerated and not back to normal for 2 hours, around 2 hours afterwards. And that's just for 2 minutes. Now you imagine a child in a playground at a school that spends 20 minutes on the cell phone. The brain is not going to be in a learning state for the rest of that period of the day in the classes. The child is probably going to be hyperactive, misbehave,
and a general pain.
and a general pain, yep.
And is that something you can see on EEG?
Oh yes.
You see a change in the brain
yeah,
waves?
it is guaranteed. I have pages upon pages of this type of experiment. It's so easy to do that most people in this research area have done it many, many times. And anybody can do this. Just don't expose your brain to any microwave, cell phones or anything for a couple of hours. Take an EEG, take one from your heart, an ECG at the same time. Make a call for 10 minutes and take another one. And then see how long it takes your brain to come back to normal. You'll be absolutely amazed. The delta, theta, alpha, beta brainwaves, you'll be amazed how long it takes them to come back to a normal state.
Alice.
Continuing to teach and develop his innovative therapeutic techniques, Reich began a series of laboratory experiments to verify the existence of a physical, biological energy expressed in the emotions. Using human subjects, Reich was able to demonstrate a charge at the skin surface directly related to feelings of pleasure or anxiety. The charge would increase when a subject experienced pleasure and decrease during feelings of unpleasure. From this, Reich concluded that pleasure is the movement of biological energy toward the periphery of the organism, while anxiety is the movement of this energy toward the center. He assumed this energy to be electrical. But was it? And did similar energy processes exist in more basic life forms? Reich discovered that under certain conditions, sterilized and unsterilized substances, such as grass, blood, sand, charcoal, and foodstuffs, disintegrate into pulsating vesicles that exhibit a bluish color. He called these vesicles bions. Reich observed internal motility in the bions, an effect of energy. He also found that certain bions revealed a strong radiation phenomenon, seen here as a white field around the organism, and that these bions could kill bacteria and cancer cells. This radiation confirmed the existence of an energy that did not obey any known laws of electricity or magnetism. Reich called this energy orgone because its discovery had evolved from his investigation of the orgasm function, and because this energy could charge organic matter. When he published his findings, the scientific and psychiatric communities responded with a vicious year-long attack in the Norwegian press. In the wake of this response, and the inevitability of a Second World War, Reich began to look to America as the future home for his work.
And this is the last thing we got. This is the work of John C. Lilly. He's the guy that worked on the dolphins, if I can find it. If someone has a oscilloscope that can test for this, that'd be great. Last one you've seen on the Oregon accumulator, I don't have any way to test it, so like making a statement like this just seems like I'm making something up. But those lines up in the sky, he worked with the Cloudbuster, and I think there's a connection between the two. I found the mapping of the brain, but I didn't find the other one. And it's going to be really hard to type up the Lilly wave too, because they removed it from their site. I pulled some of it off, but John C. Lilly made it to stimulate an animal over and over again without it making a resistance for it. Can't believe I lost that. Yeah, I just made a whole bunch of new ones, and I was moving stuff around this morning. I have no idea where I put it. I thought I made a new folder though. Nope. Well, that's what I get for not being prepared. Videos, shortcuts. Hack. MP3 videos, shortcuts. I have no idea where I put it. I'm sorry. And I so wanted to show you that too. Because it's like, it's super important to me. Because, I mean, John C. Lilly was working with the government with these dolphins. There's got to be something to it. And if you can test for it, see it, and block it. That, and there's another guy too. I almost forgot about it. He was the guy that did the experiment at Max Planck Institution. He took a bunch of children down in a bunker and removed the Schumann resonance, and they got sick. Well, then he goes down there, and they didn't know like when he did it. He went down there, turned on another one, and they got better. He turned on his own generator that generated the Schumann resonance. Well, I'm going to give you a little taste of a song I was kind of working on. If you like it, please tip. I'm really short on cash. I'm on a fixed income right now. I'm 3 years in on my lawsuit, and my lawyer wants $5,000, and I don't think I'm going to be coming out anytime soon at all with anything. I hope you like this. It's still in the workings. I'm going to be doing some live. I have some set up on a pad for some cues, but I'm not promising anything great. I kind of call this one the Jedi. Still kind of working on it. I might throw in some clips of Star Wars in it later. But I wanted to play the clip of this song I got. And so, it's taking a while. It's just like, where'd it go? I'm like, I just put that all down. I'm like, where is it? Okay, I can wait. That's what I'm waiting for, right down there. I can wait. I don't know. I like how it turned out. It kind of describes on everything that I just showed you, and I put it in the form of a song, because that way you don't have to listen to me. No, I'm just kidding. I know you like listening to me. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's at least one. Oh, yeah. Where's the rest there? Okay, we're gonna try that again. I don't like that. Creepy, ain't it? No, we're not saving nothing. Alright, let's reload that again. There was a whole bunch of cuts. Oh, there they go. Be with the breath.
Specific neurons and neurotransmitters, such as norepinephrine, trigger a defensive state when we feel that our thoughts have to be protected from the influence of others. If we are then confronted with differences in opinion, the chemicals that are released in the brain are the same ones that try to ensure our survival in dangerous situations. In this defensive state, the more primitive part of the brain interferes with rational thinking, and the limbic system can knock out most of our working memory, physically causing narrow-mindedness. We see this in the politics of fear, in the strategy of poker players, or simply when someone is stubborn in a discussion. No matter how valuable an idea is, the brain has trouble processing it when it is in such a state. On a neural level, it reacts as if we're being threatened, even if this threat comes from harmless opinions or facts that we may otherwise find helpful and could rationally agree with.
What modern nature gives, mankind refuse to let live. What modern nature gives,
Blessed art thou, Lord,
mankind refuse
King
to
of the
let
universe,
live.
who
bringeth forth fruit from the vine.
But
For I
when
say
we
unto
express
you, I will
ourselves
drink
and
the
our
fruit of the
views
vine
are
until
appreciated, these defense chemicals decrease in the brain, and dopamine neurotransmission activates through evolved neurons.